A bombshell just dropped that could completely change the Ravens' season. New details have leaked about Lamar Jackson's injury, and it looks a lot more serious than many expected. The big question now is, how long will he be out, and what does this mean for the future of the team? Stick with me, because what's coming next could reshape Baltimore's entire year. The Baltimore Ravens kicked off the season in a way nobody saw coming. A team that entered the year talking Super Bowl now looks at the standings with just 1 win and 3 losses. That kind of start immediately raises red flags, because in a league as competitive as the NFL, falling behind early can be devastating down the stretch. And what makes the situation even heavier is that the losses didn't come alone. On top of the tough games, Baltimore now faces a much bigger problem: the health of its most valuable player. Lamar Jackson, not only the face of the franchise, but also the engine that makes the entire offense work, left the game injured against the Kansas City Chiefs. Seeing him off the field is like seeing the foundation of a house start to crack. Everything around it is suddenly at risk. This 1-3 start doesn't just damage the team's confidence, it also puts more pressure on every single game moving forward. When a team has championship aspirations, every loss counts double. The margin for error disappears fast, and one more stumble could turn a Super Bowl dream into nothing more than a desperate fight just to reach the playoffs. The most painful part is that the Ravens knew the opening schedule would be tough, but they never expected to be dealing with Lamar's absence this early. This start makes it clear the season won't be easy, and that maybe the toughest battle isn't just against opponents. It's keeping the roster healthy and competitive long enough to stay alive. And that's where Lamar's injury takes on even more weight. Losing your star quarterback isn't just about dropping a game in the standings. It's about the immediate impact and the challenge to try and survive without him. The moment Lamar Jackson went down was one of those scenes that instantly changes the tone of a game. In the middle of the matchup against the Chiefs, he grabbed at his hamstring and never returned. And here's the detail that stands out. No matter the score, John Harbaugh made it clear Lamar wasn't coming back under any circumstance. That shows this wasn't just a minor tweak. It's something the coaching staff is genuinely worried about. When your best player leaves mid-game, it feels like the entire offensive plan collapses. Lamar isn't just a quarterback. He's a creative force of the team, the one who forces defenses to adjust just by stepping on the field. Taking him out is like removing the conductor from an orchestra. The instruments are still there, but the sound will never be the same. His absence also hits the team's psyche. Watching a 2-time MVP, the unquestioned locker room leader, standing on the sideline instead of leading on the field shakes everyone's confidence, especially when the team already has a losing record, because every detail matters more and the pressure to win only builds. And when that missing detail is your biggest star, pressure quickly turns into uncertainty. This injury opens a door to endless questions, because no one really knows how the team will respond without Lamar. That's when the conversation shifts from just how bad the injury is to how many games he might actually miss, and what that means for the stretch ahead. The first reports about Lamar's future haven't been encouraging. According to Brian Wacker of the Baltimore Sun, the quarterback is expected to miss at least Week 5 against the Houston Texans, and he could even sit out Week 6 against the Los Angeles Rams. 2 straight games without the leader of the offense, at a time when every matchup already feels like a must-win, leaves Baltimore in a tough spot. And the truth is, the NFL doesn't wait for anyone. While Lamar recovers, the schedule rolls on, and opponents like the Texans and Rams won't ease up. Baltimore has no room for mistakes. A 1-4 or 1-5 start almost buries their playoff hopes, because in a stacked AFC, the race is tight and teams start building separation quickly. So this isn't just about Lamar's recovery timeline. It's also about how the Ravens can survive without him. Even if it's just 2 weeks, his absence forces a team to find quick and reliable solutions, because every game without him feels like walking a tightrope without a safety net. And that's exactly where the big question comes in. Who steps up and carries that responsibility on the field while the team faces its toughest moment of the season?
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
With Lamar sidelined, the The responsibility now falls on Cooper Rush, a name familiar to anyone who follows the league. He spent years as Dak Prescott's backup with the Dallas Cowboys and even got a handful of starts. In total, he's opened 14 games, putting up steady numbers for someone always in the shadows. 60.9% completions, 3,515 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. That resume now becomes his introduction to Baltimore fans who desperately need to believe he can keep things afloat. Rush is a Lamar, and nobody expects him to be. What he can bring, though, is stability. His experience stepping in under pressure shows he can manage the game, protect the football, and keep the team competitive. And right now, that's exactly what the Ravens need. A quarterback who won't dig the hole deeper. Someone who allows the team to lean on its defense and running game. But make no mistake, Rush's challenge is enormous. He's not just filling in until Lamar returns. He's playing to keep Baltimore's playoff hopes alive, to stop a season that's already slipping away from completely collapsing. Few backup quarterbacks ever carry this kind of responsibility, but Rush knows what it means to be thrust into that position. The lingering question is whether he can deliver enough to stop the season from falling apart. And that connects directly to the next point, because the schedule and the bye week might be Baltimore's only saving grace. In the middle of this storm, there's one silver lining. The Ravens' bye week comes in Week 7. That means if Lamar misses 2 games, he'll have extra time to heal before stepping back on the field. In practice, that break could be the difference between a lingering problem and a quicker, stronger return. But for that to matter, Baltimore has to survive until then. If Rush can't lead the team to at least one win in the next 2 weeks, the situation could become nearly irreversible. A 1-5 record doesn't just destroy the math for making the playoffs. It crushes team morale and creates a locker room atmosphere that's tough to recover from. The reality is that every game until the bye week now feels like a final. The Ravens can't afford to just sit back and wait for Lamar's return to get back on track. The effort has to come now, with fast adjustments and every player stepping up to keep the season alive. And that's the danger. Even if the bye week helps Lamar get back, the losses before then can make his return too little, too late. Because in a league where every single week can decide a season, Baltimore is standing just steps away from watching a year full of expectations collapse into disappointment. Right now, the Ravens season feels like a true test of survival. They've stumbled out of the gate, lost their leader on the field, and now must lean on Cooper Rush to keep hope alive until Lamar Jackson can return. The Week 7 bye might offer some relief, but until then, every single game will shape the future of this team. So here's the big question. Can Rush hold it together and keep Baltimore competitive, or will Lamar's absence prove too costly, letting the season slip away before the halfway mark? One thing's for sure. The next few games will decide whether this team can still dream of a Super Bowl, or if 2025 is already slipping through the Ravens' fingers.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.